Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here today. I hope you're having an amazing day or night so far. We're going to get you some clarity. This flew out of the tea leaf before I even started the reading. So something is changing in your life. I don't think this is just an average change. I feel like this is something pretty big. So it's either a switch in direction, a switch in what you are seeing, your goals. Maybe something was in the dark and now you are seeing something more and more clearly, but it could also be how you are emotionally feeling about someone or something. So let's see what this moon energy is all about. I feel like we should go right away to the heart's hidden secrets. Let's see what's going on here. It's timeless, it's a collective. See what feels like it fits your story. Always follow that divine guidance in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe. The answer's in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we are all uplifted in love. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. So maybe one thing that is changing is you are getting an honest answer, or you are seeing that somebody was always kind of giving you a little bit here and there, but never the whole story. It could also be what's changing in your life is you are no longer allowing yourself to be stuck in a sticky situation in anybody else's web of lies or confusion. I feel like if somebody kind of tricked you once, they're not going to get away with it again. So maybe that's what's being illuminated to you, what you're seeing more clearly. Because I feel like there's, I feel like before you may have walked through something that kind of tangled you up. I see that cobweb, but when you're doing something else and you're not really paying attention and you're like, oh, and that cobweb like kind of gets stuck on you. I feel like this is the nighttime, but here it looks like it's that morning dew. So there's something that's coming through that's going to make something twinkle a little extra that maybe you just ran into or got stuck in before. It's like, no, I see that right now. And I feel like you're going to go around something or not get tangled in that mess again. So somebody was elusive. Dishonesty, lies of omission even, deception. They could have been wearing a mask. And trickery. So I feel like there could be somebody that even sort of, I'm getting two different things. I feel like there could be somebody who maybe even believes their own lies. Like they tell fibs so much that they actually believe their own bullshit. That could be for some of you to have awareness of that. That would definitely be something that is consistent that you notice. I get for some of you though, there was somebody who you felt they were dishonest, but I'm not getting weird energy from somebody else. I'm getting that they were trying to protect you. They were afraid to hurt your feelings or somebody else's, so they left something out. But I am getting that they're a little bit of a chicken or a little bit, like it would have been so much easier for them to just tell the truth. But it could also be if somebody is used to not always telling the truth, it could be because the people around them have really strange reactions. So they don't feel confident or comfortable messing up because I'm getting of somebody's reaction. So that doesn't mean that's how you reacted though. I feel like you would just rather have the truth. I also get that you react differently to it than somebody is used to. So let's see. What is another heart's hidden secret on? Oh yeah, somebody hit their breaking point. That could be you. Maybe that's why you have some changes in your life. Maybe some of you have pulled the plug, cut the strings, got out of a situation, and just not gonna do it anymore. You're not gonna get the run around. Especially if it's somebody that's going through a repeating cycle and that's affecting you, your energy, your direction, your peace of mind somehow, then I feel like you want to be back into the energy of peace. So for some of you, maybe it's that final straw. You're like, look at, you always say you're going to do this. You never follow through. I feel like you're just like done. But that could also be somebody else hitting their breaking point. And I am seeing that somebody does want to say something. Now I'm getting that group that means well. Whoever this person is that I'm tapping into their energy, they mean well. They don't really want to hurt you. And I feel like they keep wanting to tell you something. Like they want you to know, but then they get there and they get tongue-tied, or they never feel like it's the right time. Or maybe your energy was off one day, or their energy was off one day. Like they fully intended to tell you something, and then they just never did. And I feel like the more time went by, the weirder that situation got. But I feel like somebody finally like spills the beans, because if somebody had something building up in them and they really do want to say it, but they never do or did, I feel like something is going to come out. It could also be that somebody has this argument. I feel like somebody is leaving, and that might not be you. That might be somebody else's situation where there's an argument going on. Somebody's leaving somebody's life. But if somebody just feels completely overwhelmed, I do feel like somebody needs a helping hand or something like that. Like not advice, but an actual hand, like handling something, carrying a heavy load. Because I'm kind of getting that somebody feels a little exhausted. It could be that somebody is not really living their truth as well. If somebody is constantly, every single day, day and night, feeling like they're always wearing a mask, maybe that mask is slipping off or starting to get a little too sweaty and uncomfortable. And somebody just doesn't want to fake it anymore, whatever that is. Let's see. Clarify elusive breaking point and moon. Tell us a little more about this breaking point. What is that? Yeah, somebody doesn't want to be confused anymore. Somebody doesn't want to be the one creating confusion anymore. If you are the one constantly in this energy of you're uncertain, you're unclear, is it moving forward or are you stuck? Are you going around in circles or are you going backwards? Whoever was in confusion doesn't want to be there anymore. They don't want to be in delusion and la la land and never really knowing what to do. So for some of you, if you always feel confused, you never really get the full truth, you don't ever really feel confident and secure with a certain person, then maybe that's just setting some boundaries for yourself. So you are not confused. And I feel like that is a detachment to somebody's energy or their time, like spending time with you. I feel like the less time you spend with that person, the more clear you will get on your own direction. And uncertain, unclear, and unsure. I'm also getting that if there was somebody who was constantly sitting on the fence, back and forth, yes and no, pros, the cons, looking at something at every different angle, that I feel like somebody realizes they're creating confusion for someone else, and I feel like they know they have to make a decision. I hear cut the bullshit already. So, ooh, wow. So at the bottom, you do have apology. So maybe somebody is coming in to apologize. Maybe there was a lot of confusion because there was a lot of empty space or distance. Maybe somebody doesn't even know you hit your breaking point, especially if there was distance. But forgiveness is really powerful. That releases you from any sticky strings. That bounces you into new opportunities instead of tethering you to the energy you didn't like or the situation that, hurt you. It's up to somebody else to have their own self-awareness on what they did or did not do. Sometimes you can tell someone bluntly, hey, this made me feel like this, and that wasn't an okay action, but that doesn't mean somebody's going to hear that. I feel like there's like a knocking on the head. They're always going to I feel like put a spin on something to, I don't know, I'm kind of getting to see it in a kind of selfish way. That's definitely somebody you are disconnecting with. But if somebody gets it, if like knock, knock, knock and they're home, like, oh, I didn't even know I made you feel like that. You know, maybe they were just doing their thing or absent-minded. So I feel like somebody is being more mindful. And I feel like somebody who's mindless is just going away, or you're shutting the door on that situation. So see if somebody is sorry and if their actions follow their words, or if they are just pretty words. Somebody could be returning. And it could also be that you always look at these both ways. We're all human. So there may have been a situation where maybe you didn't want to hurt somebody. So you told somebody, you know, a little bit of the truth, but not the whole big story. Maybe you were waiting for something to be figured out or feel more clear on a direction or a decision. You didn't even know that somebody was in total confusion land, thinking that they did something wrong. Or I'm getting they were projecting all kind of scenarios, not knowing what happened. Always reading in between the lines. So maybe it's just a clear conversation for some of you. That would really help someone. Maybe it's an apology for some of you. And I'm getting that it's also sincere. It's not an apology where it's an excuse right behind it. It's a sincere apology that somebody can hear. Because there's a difference when somebody apologizes and it's like, oh, I'm really sorry I made you feel like that, but because of this and 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 this. Excuses. It's not about the excuses. If somebody messed up. I'm going to do my best. How can we fix this? I don't want to have it happen again. I will try to make some changes. But I feel like that apology, if that's you, has to be said in a way where it's heard. So, maybe that was your little signal. So let's get you something different. I'm just not sure what. Let's get you an angel number. I think this is 2 different angel decks together. So let's get you an angel number. That would be helpful right now. What is an angel number helpful for the collective? Please and thank you. Main focus, angel number, energy. It's a palindrome. You have 1001, 1001. I don't know why I just saw a puzzle. It would be weird to have a puzzle that had 1001 pieces. Do they have that, or is it always like 1,000? So it's somebody having a spiritual awakening. Big. Maybe somebody wasn't woken up before. So new beginnings, personal development, prioritizing creativity, and heading in the right direction. I did see you going in a new direction over here. So it's a new phase in a religious or spiritual quest. Ooh, that sounds like an adventure. I feel like somebody's opening up the box. Maybe somebody was confused even on what they were taught by their family, their culture, their neighborhood, their school, whatever it is. And maybe somebody always questioned something. They didn't always have the answer, but they knew that something wasn't quite right. I feel like somebody is like self-educating or finding out even by like spiritual default or like a happy coincidence that's not a coincidence. Somebody was supposed to come across certain information or just spiritual energy or teachings or something, but that resonates. You're like, oh, that makes so much more sense. And I feel like I saw the puzzle. So I feel like it's not just like this specific way is exactly how you are supposed to be as a human, as a spiritual being having a human experience. I feel like somebody's putting together the different pieces of what they feel is their truth and making their own, I don't know, just like beautiful masterpiece. But I feel like it's unfolding. It's not just like, okay, now that's good. That's the belief system. It's like, no, somebody's going to have another experience and they're going to have to move that piece around and put something else in there. I hope that made sense. You're going through a spiritual awakening. which can feel like, well, you do have this. It can feel like a breaking point. It could feel like the dark night of the soul. That's really a rough place to be. And if you are not seeing that there is somebody around you going through that dark night of the soul, I mean, think about it. Or somebody has some real big self-awareness of what they did and didn't do. You know, what happened? Why did this happen? You know, it's that like, why God? Why? It's not just like a breaking down and crying. It's usually where you are screaming to be heard. But sometimes somebody forgets, you know, their divinity or their spiritual connection until they've really hit rock bottom. And then when there's just nothing left to lose, it's like, I can only go up from here. I need your help. So it could be where somebody, you know, didn't have to hit the rock bottom. We can also have different dark nights of the soul, you know, throughout our life. It's not just the one big one, then we're spiritually awoken and we're good. No. It doesn't work like that. You're going to go through shit. You know, it's hard to be human here. I'm actually getting a lot of you as star seeds. Maybe you always felt like you don't even know what planet this is. Like, how did you get here? Isn't that a song? How did I get here? Which can feel like a dark night of the soul. You're on the path to enlightenment. That means something is feeling better. You're starting to see more clear. You or someone else is starting to hear your higher self, to trust the intuitive messages that are allowed in, that flow in. And remember, I think this is such a powerful message. I love that phrase, this too shall pass. Just think about that, both sides of the moon, you know? It's when something weird ass is happening, it's not gonna last forever. It will pass. Look towards that light. See what you learned in the weird. And let's just say it's the best day of your life. You don't even want it to end, but tomorrow you gotta get up and go to work, you know? So everything is constant cycles and changes. I feel like you have to go with the ebb and the flow here. But I feel like somebody was rather stuck. I see somebody like kind of going around and around and not looking at how this moon is actually not just going around, you know, with the earth around the sun, but that it's actually moving in the whole universe. Somebody's gaining a bigger perspective of something. So let's see what an energy card is. Tell us what an overall energy card is that would be helpful on this big spiritual awakening, breaking point, confusion, elusive. I feel like somebody was supposed to make some changes and they didn't. Somebody was already at the crossroads and they chose the weird way. Not that it's the wrong way, because we learn all ways, all choices, but somebody could have had it a lot easier and they just, maybe they repeated what they knew. So I do feel like somebody's kind of like, I see somebody like kind of kicking their own butt a little bit. Like they're looking back and be like, why didn't I just do it like that? I knew better. So somebody could have had their ego, or just that I'm getting, maybe even out of protection. Maybe they felt like the other way, it was so different, it could have been harder. So they went with what they knew, but what they knew just gave them the big old runaround. It didn't elevate them out of a karmic pattern or cycle or help them to graduate. It just kind of got them stuck in more sticky energy. So let's see. Tell us what the overall energy card is that would be helpful. You're getting clarity. Guess what you have? The moon, and now you have the sun. So day and night, this too shall pass. There's definitely somebody who is, with the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, starting to have visions or trust in their higher self, even tapping into, I'm getting their pineal gland, because it looks like the pineal gland there. So I feel like somebody almost had a calcified pineal gland. Maybe somebody's even paying attention to what they feed all of their bodies, not just you know, what you eat, but that does make a difference, you know, like beautiful living foods, not the boxed, you know, GMO, what is that? All that crap food. I'm getting like, you know, living food that got sunlight. But I'm also getting the food that you take in info-wise. You know, if somebody is always taking in weird ass low vibration energies or what they're watching on TV or whatever, I feel like it was blocking somebody's energy system. So maybe somebody is getting healthier or their energy is changing, but I'm definitely getting that the pineal gland is being uncalcified. So somebody's seeing more clearly. They're having more vivid dreams at night. And somebody wants to head towards this kind of energy, which is happiness. It's not lies, it's truth, even if the truth is hard. Better to know the hard truth and be able to really, you know, not be confused and have big awareness on which direction would be best for you or for someone else than to always kind of feel like you're in the woods, in the dark, you know, trying not to run into a tree. So when the sun comes through, it's clarity. It's you taking action towards what brings you happiness, what brings you joy, what brings you the energy of tranquility. Maybe there's something with a day and a night. I feel like maybe we should do a timing card now. So I have the divine time. Remember, time's kind of funny, elusive. So maybe this will just kind of give you a general idea of what's going on with these changes. I feel like if you were uncertain about something before, you're making a solid decision. I'm also getting toxic energy, and that could be like environments, but I feel like with these two together, I feel like maybe somebody was making some weird choices. I'm actually getting like a little bit of a drunk energy. Maybe somebody was drunk, or I don't know, substances, but it could also be confusing people that somebody got caught up in. It could even be like too much sugar or something like that. I'm getting somebody had like a foggy mind. I just heard they know better now. So let's get you a divine timing. What is a divine timing message that would be helpful on elusive spiritual awakening, the sun, clarity, truth, happiness, changes in your life, breaking point, and confusion? What's an overall timing that would be helpful to know about right now? December. I think that's a collective soul song. So whenever you're watching this, there's something important about December, maybe the holidays, maybe this is a birthday, maybe now is the time, so that by December, a lot of changes are going to happen in your life. It could also be that you have preparation time right now, where from now until whenever December is, when you watch this, maybe you start to make those changes, or you make the space to, you know, have that open room for something amazing to come in. Expect the amazing. Don't expect, you know, more of this energy or overly focus on it, or that's as within, so without, what you're going to attract. If that's not what you want to attract, don't focus on it anymore. I'm getting forgive, release your energy from it, and redirect your attention to what you know can come in, what you deserve to have come in. I'm getting you really deserve the best, but you have to believe it. You also have very soon at the bottom. So maybe very soon you need to start to create these changes, or somebody else is. So let me pause you. I don't feel like I have the right tarot in front of me. I'm going to go grab it. I'll be right back. All right, I grabbed the Wheel of the Year tarot. I haven't used that one in a while, but I feel like maybe we should do another tea leaf card, because I forgot about these. So what is one more extra bonus message from the tea leaf that would be helpful for you today. That one. What is that? A lion. Maybe something started in August, or somebody has this energy of positive pride, powerful like a lion. It's telling you, it's back to this one here. It's telling you right now, today, it's time to act. Not to be an actor or have a big old mask on. It's time to act in your authenticity. I hear act accordingly. Time to act, time to roar, time to shine, time to, I'm getting like, let your hair down. But own your power. Know how powerful you are, how important you are. So let's go to the tarot. Let's get you some advice and see what's going on. Wheel of the Year. All right, what is the main focus right now that we should know about? Main focus on time to act, the lion. I am getting that somebody does have heavy Leo in their chart, but maybe they're also, oh no, I need my glasses. Forgot these are tiny. So, oh, maybe somebody has fire and water in their chart, or these are two different people. Somebody is coming in with a love offer. You have the Knight of Chalices. So this is somebody who's kind of romantic. It looks like they're ready to jump off of their horse though. Maybe this person has had a long journey, or it's been a lot of transformation. This knight, what is he wearing? He's wearing a cape and shoulder pads and this thing down, down his chest, but no shirt. He just wants you to see that he has some abs on the side. He's like, but I always wear my superhero cape. These are funny. I haven't looked at these in a while. There's also something because he's wearing purple. So there is kind of something that's sort of majestic, royal. I just thought of royal jelly. Maybe if some of you like honey, get the royal jelly. That is the specific jelly or honey that they feed the queen bee. And it was a really weird extra message to pop in, but there's also all those butterflies. So there is transformation. It's no longer being the caterpillar. It's diving into the experience that feels romantic. This is also somebody who is absolutely, with that purple energy, tapping into their crown chakra. Being guided by their intuition. It could be somebody who's feeling really emotional too. You do have the moon, and that can be emotions. I do feel like if somebody was bottling up how they really felt, somebody is going to feel a lot better if they just say their truth. This person looks really happy. And there's also daffodils. So there is something that was maybe underneath the surface, waiting for the right season, but that bulb was always there, ready to bloom as soon as the sun was in the right position, as soon as that truth came through. If it's upside down, it could be somebody that promises a lot, delivers a little, somebody that, I get somebody that wrote, this is really weird. I'm getting somebody that wrote you a romantic poem, but then every time they have a new relationship, they give that same poem to the next person and say, oh, I wrote this for you. It's like generic. It's like it worked that first time, but it's not specific and it's not personal. So that would only be upside down. I am getting that somebody's riding towards you with a full open heart. A love offer you can't resist, or definitely, their chest is exposed there. So maybe it is the solar plexus. Somebody is really owning their personal power, or how powerful their emotions are for you or for a certain person, or to have an experience. But I am getting somebody coming in with an open heart. So it could be Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer energy, or just somebody's kind of in their feels right now. You do have somebody in the sunlight diving into the pool here. So maybe somebody only stuck in a little toe before, Now they're at least up to their knees. But I kind of feel like somebody is going to dive in pretty soon. But maybe somebody did have to get used to something. I am seeing somebody that's not really the dive into it kind of person. They want to stick a toe in, make sure they get used to something first and do it little by little. So the natural progression of this particular personality, that was a lot of P's. Maybe somebody has, I just thought of, so I thought of somebody that has a P like name, but then I thought of somebody who was peeing in the pool. If the pool is that small, do not pee in the pool. All right, let's see. Clarify the Knight of Chalices. Why is the Knight of Chalices here? Because somebody knows that they missed an opportunity before. You have the Four of Cups. You have all those opportunities and they're looking vicariously through that window, through the screen, through their phone, you know, even imagining something that is different from where they are. Like, when is that sun gonna come out? Why is it raining every single day? Come on, sun, aren't you gonna come out? But even if it's a rainy day, that could be a cleanse. This is usually where someone's wah, wah, they were bored. It's where somebody prays, please bring me something that's more exciting than, you know, this sticky web of confusion or the same room that I'm looking at every day. Maybe bring somebody over that I can have a good time with. Or I get it, like even watching like reruns on like Netflix or something like that, like watching the same CDs or DVDs over and over and over and over. You know what's going to happen eventually. This is where somebody needs to open the window to opportunities. It's interesting. This is a really different version of the Four of Cups because it's not just one opportunity. There are four. And guess what? Those opportunities are naturally being filled by Mother Nature, by the change in the weather. So I do feel like this is somebody who, if they look down and see what's right in front of their nose, as soon as they open up the window, act different instead of, you know, always thinking that something's locked and shut, and maybe looking at how much they grew. I don't know why I'm getting grew to not accept something, because I feel like somebody really regretted not accepting something when it was there. So I feel like this time when those opportunities are there, they're going to try. You're never going to know unless you try. Usually this is an opportunity handed by God. Here you go. You said you were bored, or you said you wanted a little more fun in your life, or you said you wanted a little romance. So why don't you see how this experience works for you? And if somebody's like, nah, that doesn't look right. My iPad ran out of juice at the exact same time that my phone ran out of room. I feel like it's because I keep putting these in HD and it's sucking up all the room. Let's just continue. Let's see who's coming in with an open heart, wanting to have a little more romance or being emotionally open, and getting some advice on now being the time to act, to open up your own window of opportunity, or that's what somebody else is doing. Because I always feel like it's just turning your head in a different direction to see something that was right there. No longer letting something pass you by or slip through your hands. Let's get one more. What is one more final message of wisdom on where to start, what to do, what to see, how to move? What is the final message? We're going to take whatever at the bottom that would be helpful for the collective, please and thank you. The final message is you got another chalice energy here. So the Knight, the 4, the 6, there's a soulmate energy. It's time to play. There's somebody that you could have complete clarity on and feel like the moment you met them, you must have had past lives together. I feel like this is sometimes platonic, but even if it is a romantic partnership, there's a friendship base to it. There's a beautiful spiritual innocence about this connection. It could also be, oh, somebody's looking at the past. It's really sweet. It's like she was like getting stuck in the river, or there was just a sassy moment in the river there, and she's looking at herself back then like, that's how we met. We ran into each other in the river of life when we were both just going with the flow. That was such a beautiful moment in my book of life. But you can't get stuck on that one moment. The Six of Cups can be nostalgia. Somebody can be totally stuck in the past, not seeing new opportunities that are right there because you're completely living in what is done and gone. It is okay to have, memories from the past, but how can you utilize those beautiful memories and those moments to bring you into the now, the moment you're actually standing in, at the time, in the moment, and how can you take that moment to look into the future differently? You use the past to recreate or renew the future you want it to be, because in the past, maybe you had a goal or you had an idea of what your future would be. Maybe it didn't turn out like that at all. Or maybe you have become something different. So now what you thought you wanted back then is actually not what you really want now. So always come back to the present moment when the Six of Cups comes in. But it's also remembering your childlike self. What did you do as a kid when you were just playing and time just wasn't even a real thing? You just wanted it to keep stretching. Maybe you don't play the same as when you were 5, but maybe there's a way now as an adult that would bring you that kind of joy, that kind of abundance and happiness in your life. Maybe it's an activity because there's somebody here. I am getting for some of you, it could be the change in how somebody spiritually sees. I'm kind of getting like super romantic, sassy, sexual energy here all of a sudden. I don't know why, but it's changing the intention, because that can completely plug you back in if there's that beautiful spiritual intention on a partnership and not it just being two bodies rubbing up against each other. Sorry, that got weird. But when something is deeper, maybe this is somebody reflecting on something that was like that, or how they thought something was like that, but it's not really what they desire now. I'm getting that somebody's growing up. You do have this spiritual awakening. There's something that somebody, maybe at the time, if they were kind of immature, felt satisfying, and yet it never was. And now what feels truly not just satisfying, but invigorating is changing. So the Six of Cups is usually where you have a soulmate coming in. It could be somebody that you didn't expect, but you feel like you've always known. But it's going to come in the now that is the right timing for when you need them. And that could just be a bestie. That could be a soulmate. It comes in your life for a moment, switches the direction of everything in your life to go in a totally different timeline. But that soulmate fulfilled their purpose in your life because they were meant to take you a different way at the crossroads. Sometimes you meet at those crossroads and they're meant to walk with you, to grow with you. I'll let you see that picture. It's kind of cool. Because it's definitely her, because she's wearing the same outfit. I guess, extra message, it could also be where someone is maybe trying to get somebody's attention by seeing who they really love, trying to, you do have that. You do have somebody that's kind of elusive here, always confused. I did see somebody like a little confused about their authentic truth. So it maybe could be somebody that was just trying to mimic somebody else to get kind of what they have, but they're still not attracting what they really need. I feel like somebody had to strip away the costume. Because you want to be with somebody who wants to be with your truth, not, have the right arm candy or trophy or the mask or how they'll be perceived and never have that inner workings of spirit. So let's finalize this with one more from the universe, one more big one. What is a final message from the universe helpful for you? Please and thank you. One more message. I feel like I should show you all of these cards again too. No act of kindness is ever wasted. Some of the kindest people you will ever meet have been through hell and back themselves. You have the choice. You know, there are people that are hurt and they're in a low vibration, so they feel like they're getting back at the universe for hurting them, so they're going to hurt others. So have that, you know, in your mind. If somebody is in that kind of energy, they're probably going through something. Maybe it's just a bad day. Maybe they've had a bunch of bad seasons and they just haven't elevated into that spiritual enlightenment to see how we're all connected, we're all one yet. So for you to lash back out at that person, I don't feel like that's going to be healing to you or them. So forgive. Try to see the divinity in everybody. And sometimes people that you think have had a easy, breezy, soft and beautiful life full of bliss, you do not realize that they may have gone through something like literally to hell and back. But they got up. They opened up the window. They evolved like those butterflies. And tapped into their higher chakras. And a lot of times if somebody goes through something really, really, really shitty, it's not only to heal themselves, it's to be that energy to be healing to others. Even if it's just an energetic frequency, it is felt. So I'm getting, don't be presumptuous on what you think somebody may have been going through. You know, you might be surprised. And that strengthens their compassion and empathy. If this is describing you, keep being that beautiful soul that you are. Don't let anybody throw you off course or dim your beautiful light or, I don't know. I'm getting let their egoic pride get in the way of you believing. I'm getting your North Node all of a sudden, your real destiny. Or what really fulfills your heart. With a Siva Juju, I love you so very much. I hope this reading was helpful today. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of my life. I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay.